Well, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for dialing in. This is the Central YMCA Annual Apprenticeship Awards event being held at the start of the government's Apprenticeship Week, which we wholly and utterly support and always have. This is actually our 8th Apprenticeship Awards event, the very first attended by Matthew Hancock, who was Skills Minister at the time. I understand he's busy with a few other things at the moment. And we're delighted to welcome today Gillian Keegan as the current Minister for Skills and Apprenticeships. Gillian has been a supporter of Central YMCA since her early days as an MP in 2017, when she attended one of our breakfast events in the Houses of Parliament. Having been an apprentice herself, she understands how life-changing an apprenticeship can be and has been particularly supportive of employers who engage with the government's ambitious apprenticeship agenda. We're also delighted to welcome a regular attendee at this event and supporter of Central YMCA, most specifically of our social mobility agenda, and that's Robert Halfon, Member of Parliament and Chair of the Education Select Committee. Robert has admired the ambition we have for our learners, whatever their starting points in life, and has frequently championed our work, particularly in relation to disadvantaged under 19-year-olds and their challenges, which, let's face it, are even greater in this current pandemic. Under Robert's chairmanship, the Select Committee is currently investigating the impact of COVID-19 on education and children's services, and we've been very much engaged in supplying evidence for this inquiry. We look forward to a continued working relationship with Robert in his role as chair. And thank you also to another regular supporter of the work of Central YMCA, Dame Rosie Winterton MP, who will be presenting the Employee of the Year Award. Rosie, as Member of Parliament for Doncaster, has been a regular visitor to our Doncaster Centre for many years, even once, I remember, in the middle of an Ofsted inspection for an impromptu visit. Rosie has always empathised and engaged with the learners, both in centre and whilst on their apprenticeships. She has also kept Parliament and the Department for Education on their toes by letter writing on our behalf. And quite honestly, I don't know how she has the time for that, given that she's also Deputy Speaker as well as Doncaster Central MP. And echoing the theme of National Apprenticeship Week, we're delighted to bring together apprenticeship ambassadors, members of Parliament, training providers, apprentices, parents and employers to highlight our work and to promote apprenticeships and their impact. Progression between levels of apprenticeships and the resulting increased employment opportunities are a clear focus for this government and are equally so for Central YMCA. Over 90% of our study programme Fitness Academy learners progress from level 2 to 3, and we've been keen to share this model for success with the Department for Education in their recent consultation. By fostering a culture of inclusion, self-belief and aspiration, we believe that all of our learners, whatever their age and background, can achieve a qualification and employment. And you will see this from the recipients of our awards today. Learners who are here today have been selected for their total commitment, often against all odds, and in the wake of extreme challenges, not to mention a global pandemic. It has been difficult for our tutors and managers to make this selection, as so many Central YMCA learners have achieved their goals and aspirations that have exceeded their dreams. And to them, we also offer our congratulations. And now to introduce our host and master of ceremonies, the Right Honourable Caroline Nokes, Member of Parliament, long-time ambassador of Central YMCA and sponsor of our 8th annual awards event. And I have to say, I think all previous 7 as well. We are forever grateful for her help and support and feel that she is an integral part of our Central YMCA family. Caroline, over to you.
Thank you, Rosie, and it's great to be here with you this afternoon. I think I hosted the last awards evening, and now I'm going to endeavour to host this one and act as Master of Ceremonies in my first ever experience of a virtual awards ceremony. But the important thing about the ceremony isn't how it happens or where it happens. It's about celebrating the achievements of the apprentices themselves of the training providers and the employers who are all integral to making apprenticeships such a success story. This afternoon, we've got 6 awards to be presented, which celebrate every part of the apprenticeship journey. And I will, of course, introduce all of those individually. But I just wanted to say what a huge privilege it is to be part of this as Apprenticeship Week starts. Every year, we're reminded by great organisations like Central YMCA how important it is that there is a learning experience that can be tailored for every learner, that gives young people their first foothold onto that employment ladder and gives them the opportunity to learn and earn at the same time and make a better career and future for themselves. I'm often reminded by Andree that when I'm doing media interviews, I sometimes remember to mention apprenticeships and the important role they play. And Andree takes that as absolute confirmation that at Central YMCA, they have at least taught me one important thing, the value of apprenticeships. So I shall try to keep this moving forward as smoothly as I can and no big technical gaps or problems between presenters. But first, I have the very easy job of just handing back to Andree, who's going to announce the winner of the first award tonight, and that's Classroom Learning Progression of the Year. Andree, over to you.
Thank you, Caroline. Also, I would like to mention that Arvinder Gohil, the Chief Executive Officer of Central YMCA, unfortunately can't be here, which is why I'm deputising in her absence. So we miss her greatly. I know I was chosen to award this Classroom Learning Progression of the Year award because the pre-apprenticeship provision is my passion, and I've spent many years travelling the centres of Central YMCA, previously YMCA training, where we have 16 and 17-year-olds who have often failed in their previous programme of education, are underconfident in general and not work ready, not employment ready. And so anybody who progresses through this programme has often achieved against all the odds. And Amy and her achievement, Amy Kendall, who is 17 years old from Leeds and is this year's Progression of the Year Classroom Learning winner, she is no different to a lot of the learners who started in a very underconfident situation and challenging background. And she's an excellent example of the effectiveness of the study programme in facilitating progression from entry-level qualifications to levels 1 and 2, and then further than that. In addition, and just as important as the achievement of qualifications, the classroom-based learning programme has promoted her confidence, communication and employability skills, which is why I must emphasise, particularly with the Minister and Members of Parliament present, that any replacement of the study programme at level 2 and below needs to offer flexibility, choice and progression opportunities that are bespoke to the individual. Central YMCA's contribution to the government's consultation on level 2 qualifications and awards reflects this, and of course emphasises, and I would say this, wouldn't I, that the current levels of funding are completely inadequate for the level of bespoke education provided by Central YMCA, an issue we hope to be considered in the government's redesign of the pre and level 2 offer. And now to Amy's award. In the past year, Amy has achieved the entry-level 3 certificate in occupational studies, functional skills at level 1 and 2 in maths and English, and has completed a work experience placement in retail, despite having to overcome many challenges. Amy is now on her 2nd year of the study programme with Central YMCA and is studying for her maths GCSE, something she would never have believed that she was capable of a year ago. So my sincerest congratulations to Amy, and now to her video.
Hi, I'm Amy Kendall and I attend YMCA training at Leeds. I was homeschooled for 2 years. It's a smaller groups and smaller environments. I couldn't handle big groups because of my anxious and my paranoia. And I did go to college for 1 day, stayed for 10 minutes, got so paranoid, I left. Being able to talk to people my own age, going outside and just asking people where stuff is in shops, and just being known that there's people out there who want to listen to me. Yes, I gained my English qualification to entry level 3, my maths qualifications to level 2, and my occupational studies to level 1. Progressed on to the second year of my study programme and I'm completing my GCSEs. Yes, I will start looking for a job. I never thought I'd be attending an online session, let alone achieving my English qualification. It's made me believe that I can do what I want to do. I would recommend it to people because it helps you gain confidence and it can help you achieve the goals you set yourself. I couldn't believe it. I knew I'd progressed so far, but it's just one of the things you didn't think you'll get an award for. Even though I've won the award, I can't stop putting all in. I've got to keep on going and moving forward.
Oh, well done, Amy. And now back to you, Caroline.
Thank you very much, Andree. And the next award is one that's going to be presented by me. So there'll be no continuity problems here. And this is the Pre-Apprenticeship Learner of the Year, which is going to Megan Rhodes from Doncaster. When Megan left school at 16, she hoped, first of all, to be able to get an apprenticeship working with children. But because of her lack of work experience, she found that tricky and ended up at the YMCA doing a traineeship programme, which gave her help with her employability skills, and indeed found her a placement at Saltersgate Primary School, working in the classroom. It was always Megan's ambition to be able to work with children in a primary school setting, but she was disappointed not to be able to be offered an apprenticeship with them straight away because of budgetary issues. However, 6 months after she left the school, she was invited back for an interview at which she excelled and was then awarded an apprenticeship place at Saltersgate Primary School, fulfilling her ambition. In the meantime, Megan had successfully gained a number of qualifications and worked really hard towards her ultimate goal of being a primary school teacher. We're now going to watch a short video about Megan's apprenticeship and how she's getting on.
Before I came to YMCA training, I was at sixth form, but I wasn't getting along with the courses that I did, so I left in search of a traineeship. I feel that a traineeship was the best option for me in my career path because it gave me the hands-on experience I needed to get an apprenticeship, as I didn't have any childcare qualifications going in. I think my traineeship will help me in my chosen career route, as it gave me the ability to get onto my apprenticeship, which will enable me to become a TA. My final career goal at the minute is to be a TA, but I can see later on down the line I'd like to progress onto a teacher of a primary school class. I think my biggest achievement so far on the traineeship programme is getting into a real primary school where I can get the experience I need to get the job I want one day. Winning this award means a lot to me because it means I've worked hard and I've proved myself. Coming from nothing to the position I am now, I feel real pride in myself and the work I've done.
And hasn't she done brilliantly to have achieved so much at such a young age? The third award this evening is going to be presented by Gillian Keegan. Gillian is the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Apprenticeships and Skills at the Department for Education, a position she's held for the last year. I'd now like to hand over to Gillian, who's going to award the Apprentice Progression of the Year.
Thank you, Caroline, and how brilliant to see Amy and Megan, who've just done absolutely brilliant, fantastic achievements. And I'm delighted to be here as the Minister for Apprenticeships and Skills, and actually as a former apprentice myself that started my apprenticeship journey at the age of 16 in Liverpool. So it gives me so much pleasure to announce the award for the Most Progressed Apprentice of the Year award, and it goes to Charis Radwell from Hailsham in East Sussex. And Charis secured her own position at Bunny Run Childcare Centre and dedicated herself to achieving the Level 2 certificate for the children and young people's workforce qualification. Completing the work of a really high standard, she then challenged herself to do extra and go even further. Charis has set her sights on a future career and a progression onto the Level 3 qualification from the start of her first apprenticeship, and now she has successfully achieved that goal. Charis has learned a huge amount and developed her confidence, achieving her Level 2 qualification in childcare and recently going on to start Level 3 Early Years Educator Apprenticeship, showing true progression indeed. And she has so much potential for success, with the Deputy Manager at Bunny Run commenting, "Charis will go far. as she is a dedicated member of the team who demonstrates her own initiative and always puts the children first. So well done to Charis, and we'll now play Charis's video.
Hello, I'm Charis Radwell. I'm an apprentice at Run Childcare, and I'm doing my early years educator qualification. Before I became an apprentice, I was out of work, currently transitioning from my previous nursery and looking for a better, more stable nursery to complete my level 2 and level 3. I went on their website as soon as I saw they were hiring and just saw the amount of activities they do, the fact they're a forest school, the fact that they've been running for so long. Yes, I thought, wow, that looks like an amazing nursery. I saw that they got outstanding for their Ofsted and thought, that is the nursery I want to be at. I absolutely loved it because I got the work side of things and the qualification, and the things that I learned during my qualification, I could put that into practice. I prefer doing apprentice than doing just work. I love completing my level 2 and I love doing my level 3. I'm going to be quite upset when I've finished doing it, to be honest. Yeah, my colleagues around me was motivation enough because they also completed their qualifications. I thought, if they can do that, I can do that. And I just wanted to get my level 2 done, have more responsibilities and be more competent in myself that I've got that qualification. I feel like I've got a really good tutor. I feel like I got dealt a good card. She was very supportive, always there if I had any questions, and which were quite often. And yeah, she'd always speak to me if I had any worries or I was worried that I wouldn't be able to complete work on time. She made me learn a lot more than what I thought I was going to, and yeah, she was very supportive. Other than the fact that it's not that face-to-face, I still feel like I've still got that support network. My work is being sent to me either way, and if I do have any questions, I know that my tutor's there to answer my questions virtual learning wise still, and things that I can still access. So it's absolutely fine. It hasn't affected my learning really. I was in shock. I was like, wow, I didn't think that I would. When I obviously was told that I was nominated, I was shaking and I brought tears to my eyes. But yeah, it feels good because I worked so hard to get it done and I really enjoy it, and to have to win something that you enjoy is amazing. So you've got all that support, and it's the best thing I decided to do really. It was so good, and yeah, I definitely recommend it to everyone if they want to do a qualification.
That's a huge congratulations to Charis, and wasn't it fantastic to hear about her talking about her progression and how after her level 2 she got straight onto her level 3 and is looking to do more. I think that's absolutely incredible. Huge thank you to the Minister for being with us this afternoon. Your support for these awards is very much appreciated. Now, our next presenter is somebody that requires no introduction whatsoever. Rob Halfon has been a champion of apprenticeships for as long as I have known him in Parliament. Currently serving as the chair of the Education Select Committee, I can honestly say he is someone who never misses an opportunity to champion training and progression in everything that he does and says in Parliament. So to announce the Apprentice of the Year award, can I introduce Rob Halfon MP?
He's not here.
Ah, okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Without Rob being here, I'm going to hope very much that Rosie Winterton is here, and we'll skip Rob's award and hopefully come back to him. Dame Rosie Winterton, currently serving as one of the deputy speakers, is somebody who, as Andree said, likes to keep Parliament under control at all times. An assiduous constituency MP, she represents Doncaster Central, and this afternoon she's going to announce the winner of the Employer of the Year award. Over to you, Rosie.
Well, Caroline, thank you so much for hosting this. I thought the way that you handled a possible crisis was amazing. You just kind of slid into the next award. Fantastic. And it is great to have the Minister with us as well. Really, really pleased, because it does, you know, it makes us all feel very special. And Andree, thanks to you and all the work that's done by the YMCA. As you know, I am a great supporter. I love coming along to the awards in Doncaster. It's truly inspiring to have heard from Amy, Megan and Charis this afternoon. And, you know, Amy in my office started as an apprentice and she's now head of the office. She started at 19 and, you know, I'm just so pleased that she has now become head of my office. And we have another apprentice as well who is doing brilliantly. So once again, just blown away by these awards. Thank you so much. And now we go to the Employer of the Year Award 2021, which is a Rotherham, Doncaster and South Humber NHS Foundation Trust RDaSH. And I couldn't be more pleased that they are getting this award. The RDaSH operates services in 200 locations across Rotherham, Doncaster and North Lincolnshire. It employs over 3,700 staff and more than 200 committed volunteers. The Trust has diversified from mental health and learning disability services to include community services such as district nursing and health visitors, and around 115,000 people now access their services. YMCA training and RDaSH have been working closely for about 2 years. This relationship has developed, broadening the offer to RDaSH staff into new sectors and growing the number of learners on programme. Many learners have been promoted into higher posts as a result of the training they have completed with YMCA training. Apprenticeships have also been useful in supporting staff who have been in the Trust for a long time, who progress into new roles whilst gaining formal qualifications. The work RDaSH do with YMCA is mostly to support staff working in a non-clinical capacity within the Trust and has expanded into leadership and management apprenticeships, so crucial, delivered up to level 5 standard alongside supporting learners with standalone transferable skills delivery. And as we know, this year has been a year where we have turned so much attention and thanks to the work that is done by the NHS. So I think it is truly, truly fitting that they are getting the Employer of the Year award. And I think we're now going to play the RDaSH video.
So we have over sort of 200 locations where we operate out of. We have inpatient services, community services, and we specialise in mental health, learning disability and community services as well. A lot of our learners have been sort of out of studying education for a number of years. So by supporting them through the apprenticeship programme, it helps to develop their confidence. It gives them new confidence and skills. It helps us grow our own workforce where we might have some shortages within our current workforce. It helps them with their career progression as well, puts them on a career path to a future job. So the last 10 months have been unprecedented in terms of COVID and the impact it's had on sort of learning, development, education. And we've seen a number of courses that have been suspended or been delayed because of COVID. But we've managed to sort of continue our relationship with YMCA during this period. And it's been a really sort of open and honest relationship. YMCA have been really helpful in terms of delivery, so online working, a lot of one-to-one sessions, weekly catch-up meetings to make sure that apprentices are on track to finish, and just the overall support to the organisation. I'd highly recommend working with YMCA and the apprenticeship programmes. So since around August 2018, we've had 36 apprentices work towards sort of business administrations level 3 and 4, Institute of Leadership Management team leader and supervision qualifications. We've had sort of 20 who've continued to study during the pandemic, and we've had a number of successful completions during that time, which includes I think up to six staff who have completed with a distinction. Supporting apprenticeships within the organisation is fundamental to the growing of our workforce. It equips staff with new skills, it gives them confidence, it brings them back into education learning where they may have been out of studying for a number of years. It helps with sort of widening participation. So it's something that we really support as an organisation. The work we've done with YMCA around sort of leadership and management, business admin qualifications has been of real benefit to the workforce. People being promoted once they've got the qualifications, and it's opened up new avenues of work for them within the trust.
By completing my apprenticeship through YMCA, it's given me the confidence to progress through RDaSH, and the role that I have progressed into is within RDaSH as a Band 3 support worker. So I'm so happy that you know, I've had that chance to progress within you know, a foundation trust that I absolutely love.
One thing I would say about RDaSH is we're not very good at celebrating our success. So when I received the notification that we'd won this award, I was delighted for the organisation, I was delighted for learning and development. More than anybody, I was delighted for the apprenticeships who've achieved qualifications through YMCA. What I want to do is celebrate this across the trust, celebrate this across the localities we operate our services in, but also use it as a real selling point around how we can develop our own workforce, look at future opportunities for our workforce by supporting them to do an apprenticeship programme.
I would 100% recommend anybody within RDaSH to take up a training apprenticeship programme with YMCA. It's given me so much confidence. It's absolutely, you get so much support from your mentor all the way through, and you know, you are able to progress and you are able to have the confidence to go further within your career. I just can't recommend it enough. So yeah, I'd definitely go for it if I was you.
Thank you for that big thumbs up, Rosie, and thank you to RDaSH, which is a hell of a lot easier to say than the Rotherham, Doncaster and South Humber NHS Foundation Trust. But huge testament to the work that is done by employers supporting their apprentices, and great to hear that they have had 6 apprentices achieve distinction in their studies. That's really an enormous achievement and full credit to the work and commitment that goes on there. So thank you for that, and thank you, Dame Rosie, for being with us this afternoon. Now, I am optimistic, having sent some frantic WhatsApp messages, that the chair of the Education Select Committee might now be with us, my good friend, the Right Honourable Rob Halfon. And I have to say this before I invite Rob to present the next award. Many, many years ago, he was the first member of Parliament I ever saw wearing a capital A badge at a time when I had no idea what it stood for. So I asked him, and he confirmed that that was to celebrate Apprenticeship Week. So can I please hand over to Rob Halfon, who's going to present the incredibly important Apprentice of the Year award. Over to you, Rob.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be here and online, although I look forward very much to when we can do this in person again in Parliament. And thank you, my colleague Caroline, for doing so much for the YMCA. For those who know me, I am very passionate about apprenticeships. It was the first ever speech that I did in the House of Commons, and it partly came because of a meeting that I did with young people when I was a parliamentary candidate. And I was a parliamentary candidate for 12 years before I got elected, 10 years. And it just struck me, but that these young people I met in a grim building in Harlow wanted to do apprenticeships, but they couldn't see the opportunities and how to do it. And they really needed the support. And I decided on that day that if I got elected in 2010, I would make it my business to go on about apprenticeships morning, noon and night. And that is a genuine story, because those young people had such effect on me. And the reason why I believe in it is a number of reasons, but most importantly, it gives people the chance to climb that ladder of opportunity. Disadvantaged young people from tough backgrounds, they can get on that ladder too. And I've seen it time and time again all over the country, whether people are doing level 2s right up to degree level, and the success. And every time I meet people now and they worry about university, I went to university, and had I known there was such a thing as apprenticeships, I would have perhaps done one, and I had a brilliant time. But I say to young people, I know you're worried about the loan and you're worried about jobs. Why not on earth consider a degree apprenticeship? You earn while you learn. There's no debt. You're virtually guaranteed to get a good job at the end, because we know that 90% of apprentices are who complete the training either get the job in the company they've done their apprenticeship, or they go on to serious additional education. And that is something very, very special, because I have just employed a apprentice. I've had 6 parliamentary apprentices in my parliamentary office, and I have just employed one full-time as a communications officer, and it is pretty incredible what he's doing. Anything good that I'm doing on social media is because of him, because of this young apprentice, and all the mistakes I make on Twitter are all down to me. But he has got a job. It's transformed his life. He didn't want to go to university, and we need to advertise it, not just as something for the disadvantaged, or that's crucial, but something that is as prestigious, worthwhile, and leads to jobs. And when I look at the apprentices who've done all kinds of levels, they've got jobs at the moment, yet graduates are finding it really, really tough, sadly, partly because of COVID and other reasons, to find jobs at the moment, and some of them are going back to further study. So it is a no-brainer in my view, and I think the whole purpose of the government, and I'm glad that Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced this lifetime skills guarantee. I think the government are talking about apprenticeships and skills in a way that's not been done for quite a long time. I know that the Prime Minister is genuinely interested in it, because every meeting I've been in, he's mentioned it in some way or another, so it's clearly in his mind. So I am hopeful. There's a lot more that needs to be done. The thousands or millions of pounds that are going to companies to try and incentivize apprentices, for them to hire apprentices, is a good thing. That needs to be continued. We need to look at the difficult things like wages, look at the way the levy works, and make sure that perhaps if companies use more of their levy, if they had people, more apprentices from disadvantaged backgrounds, I think that would be quite beneficial, as well as meeting the skills needs of the nation. I keep pressing government departments to meet the targets of 2.3%, tabling questions and asking about it. And I would like to see a world that not one government contract was won by any massive company unless that company had at least 5% of its employees as apprentices. I'd also like to see every single new recruit advertised in the civil service or for public sector jobs to be an apprenticeship, unless there's a very good reason why that can't be. And it can, I'm talking about new jobs, and you can offer all kinds of things from level 2 to higher level. But we are in exciting times, and to be able to do these awards, I was with Caroline, I think last year as well, is wonderful. And when I read the what Atalia Beddoes has done, the Central YMCA Apprentice of the Year, just 18 years old, working in a care home, studying at college, and quite a remarkable job, doing an adult care apprenticeship standard, level 2, and only 17 years old when you did this. How many people have that much success? From what I know about you, Atalia, you meet deadlines and targets set by the tutors. You've coped with the restrictions imposed by COVID and the impact of pandemic. And I really think you must be an incredibly, not just a hard worker and have get up and go, but you also courageous too. And you're so good that just at the age of 18, you're now being promoted already, senior support worker. You say the apprenticeship has given you the stepping stone for the career and the skills and knowledge. Well, I call it a ladder of opportunity, you call it a stepping stone. It's the same thing, and I think you sum it up exactly. And I look forward so much to you being a success, and I think you're going to do a nursing degree apprenticeship possibly in the future. So well done to you, and every success. You deserve your award 10 times over.
Hello, my name is Aaliyah Beddoes, and I am a senior healthcare assistant. I work at Barham Care Centre, and the apprenticeship that I completed was the level 2 adult care. So before I started, I worked at the care home for a Saturday job, and I was in college full time doing my A-levels. Working within a care home, I was sort of around that environment, and I was watching things when I was working and all of that, and I wasn't enjoying college that much, so I seeked into if they'd done apprenticeships at the care home, and they did with YMCA, so apprenticeship suited me a lot better than sitting in a classroom and learning that way. I think when you practice what you're learning, you understand the theory better and you can explain things better because you can think of more examples. Some of my key duties I've been doing have been assisting my residents with eating, drinking, making sure we're wearing the correct PPE, infection control, and especially throughout COVID, coming up with ways of trying to get them to still communicate with their family members. So if it's FaceTime calls and sitting there and helping them with that, that's quite important for us so they don't lose that connection with their family. I would say my greatest achievement would probably have to be getting through COVID, to be honest with you, and becoming being promoted to a senior at the end of it. That was quite an achievement for me, considering I've only been in care a year and a half by then. Being my age as well, that's quite an achievement for me. I would definitely recommend apprenticeship to others, just because I think it suited me so well, and it helped me build confidence with my job role. It gave me knowledge that I probably wouldn't have always learnt through practical, set that pathway for my career. So, but the apprenticeship as well does have a part in that, as in the theory work, because otherwise I wouldn't have known all of the knowledge and I wouldn't be able to put all of it to practice. I would like to say thank you, obviously, for helping me do my my apprenticeship, helping me through doing my units and things like that, and always providing me with extra units because I always asked to keep me busy and wanting to learn more, and it was never restricted or anything, which Lindsay was quite good with helping me with that. So she would send me loads more units and I'd get on with it and she'd get back to me. I would like to in the future do my nursing and get a nursing degree and put that to use. I was quite shocked, to be honest. I'm not really one to win things or get like the highest grades or anything like that, so I was quite shocked, but obviously very happy with it. Obviously the hard work paid off, I guess.
Thank you very much, Rob, and congratulations to Aaliyah. What a fantastic final comment, that the hard work paid off, and it certainly has done for all of our apprentices who we're celebrating this afternoon. Our last award this afternoon is going to be presented by Andree Beale, who is Chair and Board Member of Central YMCA, and this is for the Inspirational Apprentice of the Year. Over to you, Andree.
Thank you, Caroline, and it's my great pleasure to introduce the winner of our next award. Graham Fretwell is a horticulture apprentice with YMCA training and his employer Flourish Enterprise in Doncaster. Graham's dyslexic and colourblind and left school without any formal qualifications. He went through a very difficult period in his life when he experienced homelessness and was supported by YMCA training's under 16 provision. YMCA training helped Graham secure his dream job as a gardener and support worker with Flourish Enterprises, and he's now progressing well with his horticulture apprenticeship. Graham has 2 young children and is also a carer for his elderly grandparents, who he visits every night on his way home from work. Graham also suffered the tragic loss of a family member in the past year, but with the support of his employer and YMCA training, he's come through this difficult period. This award is to recognise Graham's courage and determination and to celebrate his inspirational story.
My name's Graham Fretwell. I'm a gardener and I'm on the horticulture apprentice. Yeah, I work at Flourish in Doncaster, and I've been here for about 3 years now. My story is I left school with no qualification, and I went into the under 16s YMCA programme, and from there I progressed upwards. There's been ups and downs, but eventually I got the job, my dream job, for support and garden. The support from YMCA has been amazing. Anytime I need support, you hit a phone call away. Any questions, it's been answered. Even if I'm a bit down, a good friendly chat is good and all. I went through a really struggle last year with my granddad passing, and my life tipped upside down basically. And Chris was there, phone call away, and it was really good to hear the support from the YMCA. Yeah, what helped me progress is I gained more qualifications from the YMCA programme. Sitting Gills from YMCA, I got my level 2 maths, my level 1 English. Whilst being on my programme, the progression is great. I learnt tons of knowledge about plants, about even communication, even the health and safety side of it, and even the fire safety, and yeah, it's been really good. It helped me progress a lot with the education, what I could use it for our team members here, and plus with the customer service stuff, what I could use in day-to-day life. The support I received from my tutor has been amazing, with the maths, the English, and the IT skills, what I use in day-to-day life, which I would never knew before. I would recommend this course to anyone who would like to progress more and want to better their lives. When I found out I won this award, I felt really good in myself. I've actually achieved something, and which I would never would expect anything like this.
Thank you for presenting that award, Andrew, and huge congratulations to Graham. It just falls to me to make a few closing remarks, and I'm going to hand back to Andree as well. But the thing that has struck me about every award winner this afternoon is the comments that they have made about how they've grown as an individual, how they've improved their employment opportunities, how they've progressed through levels of training. But above all, most of them have spoken about confidence. And that's such an important thing to instill in our young people as they go onto the world of work and hopefully progress in their careers through an entire lifetime. It's always a huge privilege to be involved with the YMCA and to listen of the work you're doing with training providers up and down the country to make sure that these opportunities, even in really difficult circumstances like now, when so much learning is having to be done online, it really is a testament to the amount of hard work that goes in, both from those providing the training and the young people who are doing it. So I'm going to hand back to Andree after having said a quick thank you to all of the MPs who've presented this afternoon, to the Skills Minister Gillian, Keegan, to the Chair of the Education Select Committee, Rob Halfon, and of course to the Deputy Speaker of the House of Commons, Dame Rosie Winterton. Thank you, all of you, for your contribution. And back to you, Andree.
Thank you, Caroline, as ever, for your support and input, and for a pretty seamless event. There were so many things that could have gone wrong, and none did. I do believe that the chairman wants to make a few closing remarks. I'm not sure if that's still the case. My closing remarks before I hand over to Andrew are that Robert always hits the nub on the head because he's talking about parity of esteem, or what I interpret as parity of esteem for apprenticeships as compared to a university education. And that's something that Central YMCA have championed for many, many years. You know, this apprenticeship week is an opportunity for people to engage with the vast array of apprenticeships on offer, the levels that you can enter in at right up to post-degree level, and not incurring student loans. And I think probably during the pandemic, some of these educational choices will change for the future anyway. But that would be the first plea I would make, making sure that there is an awareness amongst parents, amongst teachers and employers, that an apprenticeship is a darn good opportunity and is not necessarily inferior to a university degree. And secondly, that maths and English for our young people is a challenge, and a challenge that they relish and our staff relish, but more support is needed in terms of training for maths and English teachers. And I think the government needs to look into how that can be made more of a solid offer. But without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Andrew now to give the closing remarks.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for attending today's Central YMCA Apprenticeships Awards and for celebrating with us the outstanding achievements of our learners. As Andree has mentioned, this is the first day of the government's annual Apprenticeship Week, something we are honoured to support and have done since its inception. The theme of this year's Apprenticeship Week is Build the Future, and that seems particularly important given the challenges that young people have faced this year. We've seen the impact of our work and the impact that it's had on building futures of the inspiring individuals we've recognised today by supporting their education and careers. We should also recognise the wider impact that their contribution can make to our communities and to society as a whole. I'd like to thank on behalf of Central YMCA our guest speakers and the presenters of our awards. Firstly, special thanks to the Right Honourable Caroline Nokes MP, who's done such an outstanding job in keeping proceedings in order as host and chair. I think as the internet has shown us in the last week or so, it isn't always the easiest of jobs. Caroline is a great supporter and a highly valued ambassador for our work. Thank you to the Skills and Apprenticeships Minister, Gillian Keegan MP. We're thrilled that she joined us today to share the government's ambitious programme for apprenticeships. We wish her every success this week as she spreads the word, and also in the future as she builds on her work in this vital area. Thank you to the Chair of the Education Select Committee, Robert Halfon MP. We're delighted that you could join us today to share your wisdom and experience in this area, and pleased to be able to contribute to the important work of your committee now and in the future. And finally, thank you to Dame Rosie Winterton MP for presenting the award for Employee of the Year. We're so grateful for her continued interest and support, and we look forward to welcoming her again at our Doncaster Centre once conditions allow. Congratulations to the winner of our Central YMCA Awards, and well done to all Central YMCA learners who are managing to continue their education at this incredibly difficult time and to achieve their qualifications and awards that will enable them to build their futures and have a positive impact on our communities. It's also really important to recognise the fantastic contribution made by employers. It's their effort and support that makes all the difference. We thank you for working so closely with us, particularly over the last year, to make sure that our apprenticeships deliver on their promise. As we look to the future, there's never been a greater need for support for our young people. Here at Central YMCA, we believe we have the skills, the energy and the ideas to do so much more, particularly in the vital area of health and well-being. If you've been inspired by the incredible stories of our apprentices and would like to do more, we'd love to speak to you. After all, inspiration needs opportunity if it's going to help to change lives. Thank you.
Andrew, and I guess as MC of everything, it just calls on me to thank everybody for attending, to give my final congratulations to all of the award winners, and to pass over to Central YMCA to close the webinar. Thank you very much.